Today is Tuesday, October the 15th at about 12:30 p.m. and it is time for a fall garden update. Let's start out with the basil that we have on the porch. It's a purple basil, and you can see that it's already bolted. It's been like this for some time now, and we are continuing to pick leaves off of it until we get a frost. At that time, I will pull all the leaves off and dry the rest of them and package them away. Taking a look at the pineapple, I need to start to think about bringing it inside, but it is a pineapple that we started from a head of pineapple that we got from the store this summer, and so far so good. I've been feeding it the Mittleider weekly feed, and it has really taken off since we have done that. Let's start on the left side of the garden with the carrots and work our way to the right side to the Mittleider garden. You can see the carrots have really taken off. They are continuing to do well after I've thinned them out more and more and continue to feed them the Mittleider weekly feed. This is the cabbage that I cut off, and I was hoping that it would propagate itself and grow. However, it looks like it has been attacked by a slug and or starting to rot at the core, and I don't think that it will head up. It just looks like it's producing leaves and it won't head up, so I think I will go ahead and pull that out today or tomorrow. If you recall, back in my previous video, I had a voluntary summer squash, and over here in this other corner I had a voluntary cucumbers that came up from hybrids. I pulled them out 2 days ago. The reason I pulled them out was there was no fruit on them, and I didn't know this, but and maybe you do, maybe it's common knowledge, but I didn't realize that a hybrid would not produce fruit. So I'm learning, going through the school of hard knocks, if you will. But what happened was I noticed that the cucumber and the summer squash only produced male blossoms and did not produce female blossoms. Now let's take a look at a comparison between the regular garden and the Mittleider garden. Here we have some collards that are doing very well, and over here in the Mittleider garden, the collard not doing as well as they are back here in the regular garden. We also have rutabaga here, up there on the left, and here in the middle. They seem to be doing fairly well. Here is the rutabaga in the Mittleider garden, and you can see that I'm having an issue with pests here in the Mittleider garden. I sprayed for them last night. I can't really find what they are. I found a very small worm on the leaf of one of the other plants here in the Mittleider garden, and it looks like there may also be some, I don't even know what these are, but if anybody has some advice for me on this, I'd sure like to hear it, because I need to get rid of this right away, otherwise I'm going to lose my plants. Here is the early Jersey Wakefield cabbage, these three. Now let's take a look at the early Jersey Wakefield cabbage in the Mittleider garden. Much larger than the early Jersey Wakefield in the regular garden bed. And then taking a look at the kale, you can see the kale is doing somewhat okay. One of them is coming back, and also the Bibb lettuce. You can see the kale is doing somewhat better than the regular garden bed, but not tremendously better. And here you have the Bibb lettuce, which is doing significantly better than the Bibb lettuce in the regular garden bed. Alright, let's talk about the garden bed quickly. We had a tropical storm that was coming up through the Gulf a few weeks ago, and I decided to put a covering on this bed to prevent the water from washing out all of the nutrients and from flooding it and causing a deficiency in the tomatoes, to keep some of the water off of them. I also noticed that in doing so, I am inherently shading the plants slightly, which I don't necessarily like because it's fall time and they need all of the sunlight that they can get. So in doing this, I put a roll-up side on the south side. The sun is over this way. Put a roll-up portion on this side that can be lowered when we get a storm, and lowered down to the level where those plastic clips are on the frame. You can see that the tomatoes, although we know that they're not getting as much sun as we'd like them to get, you can see they are growing tremendously well in this garden bed. They're doing better than the tomatoes I did for my summer garden, and they are all, every one of them, are starting to blossom. And I have had no problems with pests or with intruders on my tomatoes. Here's another view from the end of the garden where the fence is at, looking back through the garden. And if I look up, you can see the large German Johnson tomato that is mature from the summer, and it is fairly healthy overall. It's still producing lots of blossoms. I have not got a tomato off of this in quite some time, so I'm still hopeful, and while I'm hopeful, I will continue to let it grow. But if these blossoms do not start to produce tomatoes in a very short manner, I will take this out and allow more sunlight to reach my fall plants. I hope this has been valuable. I hope it's been informative, and I hope that it's been a good use of your time as well as mine. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and as always, remember to smile for a stranger today. You'll both be glad you did. God bless.